Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now it's 7 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, a deadly officer-involved shooting late last night in Orange County. Why deputies say they eventually shot at the suspect after trying to break up a fight. Plus, safety changes expanded downtown Orlando following the downtown Halloween shooting. Why officials think it will help prevent tragedies like this from happening again. Michelle.
And it is a dry start to our morning across Central Florida. What you're looking at is the water vapor imagery. I'm pinpointing all of that dry air settling over not only Central Florida, but New Orleans. The weather's going to be great for the big game. Of course, I'll have the details coming up in a bit.
Good morning, Central Florida. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod.
And thanks for waking up with us on this Sunday. I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
I have just been loving this dry, sunny, warm weather. It's been so nice.
I did it all for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
I love you. But you know what? We were actually dealing with some very cold temperatures across Central Florida. I think many of us were running out of winter clothes, if we have any.
We were done.
Yeah, we were done with the cold weather. So you know what? It's February, but it's actually feeling like May.
It is.
And it's going to get even warmer as we go through the upcoming work week. So really looking forward to that because, hey, I love the warmth. As we take a live look outside here, Daytona Beach, gorgeous. The sun is almost up, but seeing that sunlight. Official sunrise this morning is 7:08. So we have 7 more minutes to go. But what a beautiful shot. The water looks inviting out there. If you are heading out to the beach forecast looking great. So let's go ahead and take a look at that setup again. If you're now tuning in, good Sunday morning, looking at that ridge of high pressure over the entire southeast. That is going to keep our weather very quiet across Florida, stretching all the way to southeast Louisiana. The big game is later on this evening, and the weather's going to be perfect for that event. Now, temperatures are starting off in the 50s and 60s. Good morning, Orlando and Kissimmee. You're at 61, 58 in Daytona Beach, 52 in Ocala and Wildwood, and 59 in Claremont, 61 in Melbourne. Dealing with a little bit of fog along the I-4 corridor and also Marion County, down to less than a quarter of a mile. And because of that, a dense fog advisory is in effect for only Marion County until 10 this morning. So just make sure you're taking it easy while you're out and about. Your out-the-door forecast featuring my pet of the hour. This is Uno from Ocala. What a cute dog. I'm digging the bandana. Look at those ears. So cute. We'll continue the areas of fog through the morning, comfortable around 10 in the lower 70s, 79 around lunch. Plenty of sunshine, rain-free with temperatures in the middle 80s today. We warm up, getting closer to midweek, upper 80s, nearing 90. I have your full forecast coming up shortly.
All right, some breaking news this morning. Orange County deputies say a man is dead after a deputy-involved shooting late last night. It happened near Castle Street in Orlando. That's where deputies say they went to a home after being told a burglary was happening. According to the sheriff's office, deputies were in the backyard when they saw 2 men arguing and one had a knife. That's when they say they gave multiple commands for the man to drop the knife, and when he didn't, they shot at him. Deputies say they gave the man first aid until he was taken to the hospital where he later died. FDLE is leading the investigation, and the 2 deputies who fired are on paid leave. Over in Brevard County, we're learning more this morning after investigators say a man was killed by Titusville police on Friday. Officers say it happened around 9:15 Friday night near Robbins Avenue. Now, we have video of the scene. Officers say they responded just after 9 to investigate a suspicious incident and found a man with a handgun. That's when they say the man was shot by police and taken to the hospital where he died. It's not immediately clear what led police to shoot. FDLE is also leading this investigation. The mayor of Titusville posted on social media saying he wants to extend his condolences to the family of the man killed and that he is committed to justice, fairness, and ensuring the city remains a place where all residents feel safe, respected, and heard. Well, more changes coming to downtown Orlando's nightlife scene to try to improve safety. After the Halloween mass shooting downtown, we told you how city leaders were going to reopen Orange Avenue to traffic to try to better manage the crowds. Now, last night, the city moved forward with that plan by reopening 2 more streets in the area to traffic. News 6's Darrell Baker was there and spoke to city officials and tells us how they're expecting this to help. All right, Gerald, thank you. A car chase in Volusia County ends with the arrest of a fugitive wanted for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. This is video of that chase where officials say Randolph Brown took off after a traffic stop and rammed into two deputies' vehicles. They say he drove in oncoming traffic and hit two other cars who thankfully ended up being okay before crashing into land. Deputies say they found a loaded gun and drugs when they searched his car. Brown was arrested by deputies on his warrant as well as several other charges, including aggravated fleeing. An Orange County judge has ruled against a woman who sued her son's school after they said she couldn't volunteer because she was a model on OnlyFans. The woman, Victoria Tree, sued Orange County Public Schools in 2023 after being told 2 years before she would not be allowed to volunteer in the classroom at Sand Lake Elementary. The situation worsened for Trees when the school received an anonymous tip that she was posting explicit pictures online. On January 29th, the judge ruled Trees does not have a right to volunteer at the school or appeal her removal. We've reached out to Teresa's lawyer, but haven't received a response. After 16 months in Hamas captivity for 3 hostages, they're finally heading home to a collective sigh of relief in Israel and their families. CBS News' Chris Livesay has the latest. All right, let's check back in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. She's in our Pinpoint Weather Center with a gorgeous view of Daytona Beach this morning.
Yeah, that's right. The sun is up. Look at this gorgeous sunrise. The water looks beautiful. Oh my goodness, the colors even in the sky, gorgeous. So we are looking at a beautiful day ahead across Central Florida for the big game. If you are heading out to downtown Orlando, there's so many events happening across Central Florida. So just, of course, be careful, and the weather is going to be just fine, but it is going to be warm. Now, temperatures are at 58 degrees in Daytona Beach. The winds are light and humidity at 100%. Downtown Orlando, even looking beautiful with those beautiful oranges in the sky. This camera shot from our Light Orlando camera delivering hope. We're looking at 61 degrees, and also the humidity is at 100% with winds out of the southwest at 3 miles per hour. Now, once again, I am tracking patchy dense fog along the I-4 corridor, but Marion County down to less than a quarter of a mile. Palm Coast looking at a little bit of fog for you, and even Melbourne, some patchy dense fog. Now, temperatures, it is a mild start once again. We're already in the 70s in Titusville, 66 in Cape Canaveral, 61 in Melbourne, and 61 in Kissimmee, 52 in Ocala. So your pinpoint forecast in Palm Coast, we'll see abundant sunshine. We're at 69 around 10, 78 around lunch, and temperatures remaining in the upper 70s for your area. Now, Orlando will be above average with temperatures at 81 around 1. We're going to see 85 this afternoon, even kickoff at 6:30 today. The weather will be gorgeous, and also no rain in the forecast. We get even warmer this week. I'll show you that 7-day coming up in a bit.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Coming up, there is always something to do in Orlando, but a favorite event is back this weekend. A look at what you can find if you visit MegaCon. You're watching News 6 Mornings. We're getting results for our friends in Port Orange, Lake Mary, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back. MegaCon 2025 is in full swing at the Orange County Convention Center, where around 180,000 people are celebrating their favorite movies, TV shows, and comics. Now, everywhere you look, there is something interesting to see, whether it's a piece of art or an immersive exhibit. Now, I spent the day there yesterday to find out what you need to see before it all comes to a close today. We had so much fun at MegaCon yesterday.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It was really cool. I have never been to MegaCon. This was my first time, but Orlando's lineup is so impressive. Some of the biggest names in entertainment.
I know.
Ron Howard, Mel Gibson. A lot of the Twilight cast, they're here too. I mean, Molly Ringwald was here.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it spans across so many genres. So there is truly something for everybody there.
For everybody. And then not only that, with the cast of all these big movies and stuff like that and shows, the costumes.
Oh my gosh.
It's all about the costumes. And everybody, they do such a great job. So detailed. So that's great.
Really impressive.
So, today's the big game. And if you're doing any event, going to any event, the weather is going to be gorgeous. You really couldn't ask for better weather. I do want to show you why we've been dealing with such beautiful weather across Central Florida. We have a ridge of high pressure. You can see that curve over pretty much the entire southeast. So not only in our area we'll have gorgeous weather, in New Orleans the weather's going to be fine. And this is the water vapor imagery pinpointing that dry air. So that's going to keep our rain chances nice and low, but it's also going to keep our temperatures above average for the next several days. Daytona Beach, gorgeous sunrise there. We're at 58 degrees, winds are light, and the humidity is at 100%. And I am tracking a little bit of fog along the I-4 corridor. Not as bad as yesterday, but out in Marion County, less than a quarter of a mile. So just be careful out there if you're heading out the door. Down to 2 miles in Palm Coast, and also tracking some fog in Melbourne and also along I-4. And there's also a dense fog advisory in effect for only Marion County today, and that expires at 10. Now temperatures, we're at 59 in Sanford, 58 in Claremont, as well as Leesburg, 52 in Ocala. Palm Coast, good morning, you're at 56, 68 in Cocoa Beach, and 70 in Titusville. So here's a look at your pinpoint weather forecast for DeLand. We'll see abundant sunshine as we go through the morning. We're at 74 around 11, 78 around noon, and then 81 around 1. No rain for you. Now your planning forecast for Orlando for later on tonight. Again, kickoff for the big game is at 6:30. If you are heading downtown, the weather's going to be great. We'll be at 82 around 6, 74 around 8, and 69 around 10, and then hitting a daytime high of 84, 85 degrees later on this afternoon. Now forecast highs here, 79 in New Smyrna Beach, 80 in Daytona Beach, hitting a daytime high of 83 in Claremont, Wildwood, and the Villages, and 84 in Kissimmee. Now Super Bowl Sunday, again, we are looking at pretty nice temperatures out in New Orleans at 72. It is going to be humid, but no rain for them, so looking pretty good there. And then your beach forecast, if you are planning on heading out to the beach, the water temperatures will be at 59, UV index will be high, and the rip current risk will be moderate with winds out of the southwest between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now pollen, again, it has been pretty miserable across Central Florida because it's warming up. Again, blooms are beginning to pop, and we are going to remain in that medium to high range for the next several days. So unfortunately, the pollen isn't going anywhere. And then your clouds and rain forecast, this particular model showing things very quiet through the morning. Later on this afternoon, we may see a few clouds develop south and east of the I-4 corridor. But look at this, no rain as we go about our day heading into tonight. So looking pretty good there. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast, getting your results. If you're now tuning in, a good Sunday morning. The big game is tonight. We're looking at a high of 85, 62 tonight, 84 tomorrow. A little bit of fog possible early tomorrow morning. Heading into Wednesday and Thursday, things really warm up into the upper 80s. We may even touch 90 on Thursday. And then a weak cold front moves through, bumping up those rain chances between 20 to 30% Thursday into Friday. And Friday is Valentine's Day. If you celebrate, the weather is going to look fine with temperatures in the lower 80s.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Well, it's Black History Month, and coming up, News 6 Insider Guide and anchor Crystal Moyer shows us a number of museums that celebrate the heritage and history of African Americans in the United States. But first, get those tickets out. Here's a look at the winning numbers from last night's Florida Lottery drawings. Good luck. All right, thank you, Crystal. Coming up on News 6 Mornings, protests happening across the country this weekend as ICE raids continue. The latest updates from the Trump administration. Michelle, more beautiful weather on tap.
Oh, yeah, looking at those temperatures climbing into the 80s across Central Florida. If you are planning on heading out to any event, especially in the downtown area, we'll be in the middle 80s, no rain, and we're going to even heat things up a little bit more as we go through the upcoming work week, and I'm talking about nearing 90. The details on that forecast coming up shortly.
And speaking of heating up, the big game happening tonight in New Orleans. A look at what to expect as the Chiefs search for a third straight titles and the Eagles search for revenge. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
As a state trooper patrolling these roads, I know why traffic is bad, and I know how to make your commute smoother. Let me get you through traffic on News 6 Mornings.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Now on News 6 Mornings, protests across the country as ICE raids continue. The latest on President Trump's administration. Plus, it goes down in New Orleans later tonight. What to expect as the Chiefs and the Eagles square off in the Big Easy. Welcome back to the morning news. Time now is 7:30 on your Sunday. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod. Before we update you on our top stories, meteorologist Michelle Morgan has a quick check of today's forecast. Oh my goodness, another look at that gorgeous sunrise.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, the sun is up, beautiful colors in the sky, seeing a few people walking along the beach to catch that beautiful sunrise this morning, but it is chilly. Thankfully, winds are light. We're at 58 degrees in Daytona Beach and humidity at 100%. Thankfully, this morning, really not dealing with a whole lot of fog in that area, but other spots are dealing with patchy dense fog. For example, Ocala down to less than a quarter of a mile. Parts of Orange and Osceola counties seeing a little bit of that fog there. And then we're down to less than a quarter of a mile in Cocoa Beach and Melbourne. Again, the fog is pretty patchy, not as widespread as yesterday. And there's a dense fog advisory in effect for only Marion County until 10 this morning. So just be careful if you're heading out on the roads. Here are your temperatures. We're at 61 in Orlando, 58 in Claremont, 55 in the Villages, and 61 in New Smyrna Beach. Good morning. 62 in Melbourne. Your pinpoint weather forecast for Claremont, when we get rid of a little bit of that fog here through the morning, we're at 64 around 9, 69 around 10, 73 around 11, and then daytime highs reaching the 80s today. Now, if you are planning on attending any events in the downtown area for the big game, here's a look at that forecast. We're at 82 around 6. Kickoff is at 6:30, 74 around 8, and 69 around 10, and also rain-free today, so the weather will be nice. Forecast highs across Central Florida. We'll see a high of 79 in New Smyrna Beach, 83 in Titusville, 83 in Ocala, and 84 in Kissimmee. So all in all, the weather's looking great across Central Florida, also looking good in New Orleans. And as we go through the rest of the work week, temperatures will be climbing into the upper 80s, nearing 90. Of course, I'll have the details on that forecast coming up shortly.
All right, thanks, Michelle. President Trump will become the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl today. It comes as he continues to carry out his agenda. As CBS News' Christiane Benavides reports, this weekend has already seen a number of protests in response to ICE raids that are taking place. A judge has denied the motion for a new trial for the man convicted in a crash that killed 3 people in 2022, including TikTok star Allie Spice. Officials say Devin Perkins was behind the wheel when investigators say he hit a wrong-way driver, killing Allie Spice and 2 others. He was convicted last fall and is currently awaiting sentencing. Perkins' attorneys say his former lawyer's questioning of an EMT about the smell of marijuana in the car opened the door to previously inadmissible evidence of Perkins' marijuana use. Perkins is facing 30 years behind bars. This morning, we're learning about yet another swatting call at a local hospital. The fake phone call to 911 that brought out the SWAT team in full force is believed to be a hoax. Cocoa Beach police tell us they got calls about a shooting at Cape Canaveral Hospital last night, but according to officials, it was all a hoax. After multiple sweeps of the hospital, police say they found no credible evidence of any shooting. They say it was the latest swatting call. Police say they're still investigating. Well, the big game is happening tonight between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. It'll all go down in New Orleans, and it's sure to be a fun showdown. Though the game's biggest winner might not be decided on the field. CBS News' Omar Villafranca has a look at what's expected. NASA's Artemis moon mission has seen multiple delays and gone way over budget in the past 10 years. With the new administration looking towards budget cuts, the mission and its heavy lift rocket, the SLS, may be on the chopping block. One of the mission's main contractors, Boeing, notified employees they may be out of a job because of the changes. According to a statement from Boeing, the SLS team may be cut by 400 people this coming April. Boeing says they would move those employees to different positions somewhere else in the company. All right, let's go ahead and check back in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. She is tracking some fog for us this morning in at least one county in Central Florida.
Yeah, that's right, and that is Marion County. There is a dense fog advisory in effect until 10, where many spots are seeing less than a quarter of a mile. So just make sure you're slowing it down if you're about to hit the roads. Looking at a little bit of fog out in parts of Orange and Osceola County, and we're down to a mile in Palm Coast, Cape Canaveral, and Cocoa Beach. Different setup this morning. That fog is expected to mix on out within the hour or or so. But again, you want to make sure you're taking it easy. Talking about that dense fog advisory, it looks like it has expired, so that's great news there. And today is looking fantastic. Where many of us are starting off in the 50s and also 60s. We're going to warm up into the upper 60s around 9 in Orlando, 74 around 11, 81 around 1. And then if you are heading out to any events, the big game is later on this evening. Kickoff is at 6:30. The weather's going to be fine, mild, light winds, and really not that humid. Now, forecast highs, normally we're supposed to be at 72. We will exceed that today. I am forecasting 85 in Orlando, 84 in Sanford, as well as Kissimmee. Along our coastal areas, 80 in Daytona Beach, 82 in Palm Coast, and 83 in Titusville. So all in all, looking at a really nice forecast for today's event. Even New Orleans, the weather is going to be fine. Now, as we go through the next 7 days, we do have an area of high pressure that is going to keep us nice and quiet, but also our temperatures are going to respond, meaning we are going to remain above average. I am forecasting upper 80s by Wednesday and also Thursday before a weak cold front moves through the area, and that is going to up our rain chances between 20 to 30%. Of course, we'll talk about that forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Coming up, it was a fun time for a bunch of pups yesterday in Lake Eola Park. A look at the Paws in the Park event that had all of its participants wagging their tails. And between work and taking care of your kids, there's not always time at the end of the day for parents to find friends. That's where social media comes in. Coming up, we'll introduce you to one Central Florida mom who wants to take the next step, good old-fashioned face-to-face contact. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back. It was a tail-wagging good time for all at Lake Eola Park during the Paws at the Park Festival yesterday. Our student journalist Jana Manaholal was there to catch all the fun. Many people here in Central Florida moved here from somewhere else, and it can be hard to meet new people and build those close relationships. That was the case for this week's Getting Results Award winner, so she started an online group for moms. Julie Broughton was there as her virtual community became a real one. Such an awesome support system. If you know someone who's making a difference, we want to know about it. Nominate them for the Getting Results Award on clickorlando.com. In the top banner under Getting Results, you'll find this form. Just fill it out, and you might see them featured here in the coming weeks. Such a great way for other moms to connect.
I love that.
It's just hard to make friends as an adult.
Yes, it's hard to make mom friends. I was just telling her, you know, you go to the playground, you take your kids, and your kids are playing so well, and then you talk to the mom, and you're like, oh my God, I made a friend.
Yeah.
And then when you text them, then you're ghosted, and then it's just like, oh.
You're like, oh, bummer.
This could have been something.
Yeah.
It's okay, though, but that's really good.
We love you.
You can tell that I've been
No,
hurt
I get it. And sometimes when you're making new friends too, it almost feels like, oh, I don't want to double text.
Exactly.
Like what? I'm totally overthinking it.
I don't want to be too aggressive.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally understand. But anybody would be lucky to be friends with you.
I really do appreciate that. I think I might have to do something like that, like include myself, because that seems like such a great event. Yeah. And everybody's willing to, you know, become friends with other moms. Yeah, so that's really cool. Great job, Julie. What also is great is the weather. Yep. Weather has been gorgeous lately. Thank goodness.
The weather is our friend this week.
Yes, the weather is our friend. Today's the big game, and you know, you want to know what the forecast is going to be like. All you need to know is that it's going to be dry and warm, so looking great for that big game there. This morning, though, I am tracking a little bit of fog, not as widespread as yesterday. We are looking at a pleasantly warm day. Above average warmth will continue as we go through the upcoming work week, nearing 90 by midweek, and then I am expecting a weak cold front to move through by Thursday into Friday, and that is going to bring a few showers to the area. The severe weather threat extremely low. The ingredients are really not there for that to happen. Now, Mount Dora looking absolutely beautiful, looking at a little bit of cloud cover there in your area. Temperatures are starting off at 61, humidity at 100%, and the winds are nice and light. Now, here's why it's been so warm. As we take a look at the setup, this is the water vapor imagery pinpointing that dry air across Central Florida. That is that orange stuff you see on your screen. not only here, really across the entire southeast. So the weather is also going to be good in New Orleans for that game, and that ridge of high pressure is expected to stick around as we go through the next 7 days, keeping our daytime highs above average and also rain-free. Temperatures right now in Orlando, Kissimmee, Claremont, good morning, you're at 61, 58 in Daytona Beach, 56 in Palm Coast, Ocala, good morning, a little bit chilly in your area at 52, and 68 in Cocoa Beach. Also out of Marion County, some spots I am getting reports of that dense fog, so visibility down to less than a quarter of a mile, but it'll continue to mix out as we go through the next hour. But if you are, again, heading out on the roads this morning, here's the visibility map pinpointing that fog. Just make sure you're being careful. I'm also tracking fog out in parts of Orange County and Osceola County this morning as well. Now, today's forecast, this is through 9 o'clock. We're at 74 around 11 this morning, 81 around 1. The big game, again, the kickoff is at 6:30, and the weather's going to be fine. We'll be in the upper 70s, and even leading into tonight is going to be a mild night with temperatures in the lower 70s around 9. Now, your forecast highs, normally you were supposed to be at 72. We will exceed that. We're looking at 85 in Orlando, 83 in Claremont, Leesburg and Ocala, 80 in Daytona Beach, and 79 in Cocoa Beach, as well as Melbourne. Even the forecast out in New Orleans is looking good, 72, and again, looking at a few clouds, but it will be humid. Beach forecast looking fantastic if you are heading out to the beach today. The water temperature will be chilly at 59, UV index will be high, and then the rip current risk for today moderate. Now, if you've been having issues with the pollen, it's because it's warming up. We're going to stay in that medium to high range through Wednesday, so unfortunately the pollen is not going to let up. Clouds rain forecast looking clear. We'll see plenty of sunshine as we go about our day. Fast forwarding things into this afternoon, we may see a few clouds begin to develop south and east of the I-4 corridor. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 85 today, 62 tonight. Patchy dense fog will be possible once again tomorrow morning with a high of 84, 87 on Wednesday, and 89 on Thursday with a few showers around and a few showers around on Friday.
All right, thanks, Michelle. You're watching News 6, getting results for all of Central Florida. We'll be right back. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan has one final look at your forecast. More beautiful weather on tap. I mean, truly, you know, you've really delivered for us this weekend.
Thank you. I really tried my best as I'm trying to swallow the peanut butter right now. All right, here we go.
We got to get our protein in.
Yeah, we really do.
On this shift.
85 today. And you know what? The big game is today. The weather's going to be fine. No rain. It's going to be mild. Tomorrow, once again, areas of fog. We stay in the 80s all week. Valentine's Day is on Friday.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's Emily's favorite holiday. But look at Wednesday and Thursday. We will be way above average in the upper 80s. So looking forward to that warmth.
Pink and red looks good together. I love chocolate. I love flowers. It's the perfect day. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on News 6. Remember, we always break news on clickorlando.com. Happy Sunday.
Watch meteorologist Michelle Morgan for your weekend forecast. Weekend mornings on News 6.